Live from Pix 11 with today's top 11 stories. It's the Pix 11 Midday News with John Muller.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Midday with me, John Muller. Here are your top 11 stories on Pix 11. Story number one, the weather. Flash flood watch in effect through tonight for much of New Jersey. Showers and thunderstorms will develop later this afternoon. Locally, heavy downpours are possible. Cloudy skies, scattered thunderstorms continue on Wednesday with unseasonably cool temperatures. Thursday is going to feature yet another chance of rain and thunderstorms as low pressure moves through the area. Well, number two, a massive police response at a Queens park for what officers thought was a baby's body. It turns out it was just a doll. Pix 11's Nicole Johnson live in Bayside now with details. Nicole.
And John, right now police are trying to figure out whether or not this was done on purpose as a hoax to scare people who live out here or to spark that massive police response like we saw. Take a look behind me. You see right there the canopy, the crime scene unit canopy there. That's where the doll was found, right under the canopy, not a dead baby. Take a look. This is the doll police found around 8 this morning here at 35th Avenue and 215th Street in Bayside. EMS was first to arrive and confirmed it was a dead baby. That's because those first responders never checked for a pulse or even touched it. That's where the confusion comes in. Police arrived shortly after and detectives took a closer look, cordoned off the area for an investigation like it was an actual baby. And when detectives tried to move it, that's when they knew it was no baby, instead a realistic doll that even appeared to be decomposing. And you saw the doll there in the video looking pretty realistic. Right now, police are just trying to figure out why this happened, if someone did this on purpose, and if someone dropped the ball. Those are questions we're going to get the answer to and have more tonight on the Pix 11 News at 5. For now, we're live in Bayside. Nicole Johnson, Pix 11 News.
What a mystery, Nicole. Look forward to your report tonight at 5. Thank you. All right, number three, the trial for the Bronx teen accused of killing his classmate starts today. Abel Cedeno charged with first-degree manslaughter for allegedly stabbing Matthew McCree and injuring another teen back in September of 2017. Cedeno, who is openly gay, says he was acting in self-defense against bullies. Cedeno has pleaded not guilty. Number four, New York is set to become the 13th state to allow undocumented immigrants to apply for driver's licenses. The Green Light Bill, as it's known, narrowly passing the state Senate last night, signed immediately by Governor Cuomo. At a rally today, immigrant rights advocates celebrated victory.
I'm very happy about this victory, not only for me, but for all the parents who no longer have to be fearful and hide their kids. Now they have the right to be able to go out in the streets with us, to get to know other places.
The first licenses will be available in December. All right, President Trump threatening to round up people who are in the country illegally, saying millions will be kicked out starting next week. Pix 11's Katie Corrado has the details from a detention center in Elizabeth.
Everything is pretty quiet here at this ICE detention facility in Elizabeth, New Jersey, but next week, if the president has his way, things could start looking a little bit different. President Trump tweeting out just hours ago that ICE will begin the process of removing millions of undocumented immigrants starting next week, writing, quote, "They will be removed as fast as they come in." The president doesn't say how this will be done, but he does continue by praising Mexico, saying its strong immigration laws are stopping people from crossing the U.S. border. He also mentioned that Guatemala is getting ready to sign a Safe Third Agreement, which basically means that anyone crossing into Guatemala has to claim asylum in that country and cannot claim it elsewhere. Many families who have been traveling through Mexico to the United States have been coming from Guatemala or further south from Honduras and El Salvador. They are generally fleeing extreme poverty, violence, and corruption. The president continued his tweet by taking a stab at the Democrats in Congress, saying they are the only ones who won't do anything. He wrote, "They must vote to get rid of the loopholes and fix asylum. If so, border crisis will end quickly." This all comes as the president prepares to announce his 2020 re-election bid today in Florida, where he says thousands of supporters are already lined up. President Trump has raised nearly $100 million for his campaign, but the latest polls, including those done by his own campaign, show him trailing behind former Vice President Joe Biden. And Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez took to Instagram calling the president a fascist, saying that he has created concentration camps and created a crisis for all Americans. Reporting in Elizabeth, New Jersey, I'm Katie Corrado, Pix 11 News.
Katie, thank you. All right, number 6, another reminder to stay awake on the subway after a man cuts a hole in a rider's pocket and then stole his cell phone and credit cards. This happened a week ago on a Manhattan-bound L train in East New York. Just yesterday, we told you about an unrelated incident in which a sleeping woman woke up to find a man touching her inappropriately. Well, the anti-overdose drug Narcan, it's being given away for free at some New Jersey pharmacies today. Now, this is in response, of course, to the opioid crisis. It's only for one day. The life-saving drug Narcan will be available without a prescription. Anyone can grab the nasal spray at a participating pharmacy in New Jersey. We have a list on pix11.com. Check it out. Number 8, fire crews investigating what caused a blaze inside of a 23-story apartment building in Coney Island. Happened around 4:30 a.m. Flames breaking out on the 4th floor of that building on Neptune Avenue. Police say a man was sent to the hospital with some serious burns. No word yet on what caused that blaze. Number 9, Long Island firefighters battling flames at the Winter Brothers recycling plant in Suffolk County. This happened overnight in Yaphank. Additional fire crews were called to that scene to assist putting out the fire. No injuries reported. Number 10, Yonkers Public Schools doing their part to help the environment. They did away with all food trays today that have foam. They introduced 100% recyclable trays. The old foam trays, they are made using fossil fuels and cancer-causing compounds. They're not biodegradable. They pollute the air and water.
When they make these things, they produce chemicals that get put into the air. And some of these chemicals can actually cause long-term illness to you, not to you now, right? So, but we want to keep the overall environment clean.
Yonkers Public Schools use about 2 million food trays a year. All right, finally from the Pix 11 archives, if you grew up in New York, the words Regents exam might send shivers down your spine. The make or break standardized test put high school kids through the mental paces every year. 1980 was no average year, though. It was thanks to a cheating scandal. It was our top story 39 years ago today.
11 alive. And the Action News team.
The first arrest was made today in the Regents exam cheating scandal, and officials say they believe it's just the tip of the iceberg. Police arrested a high school sophomore in Queens after he allegedly tried to sell answers to 2 Regents tests to another student. Tim Malloy has a report.
The student, whose name is being withheld, was arrested and booked this morning. The answers to the Regents' physics and chemistry tests were confiscated. In a classroom at Cardozo High, where the arrest took place, in classrooms statewide, students sat down to take the chemistry and physics tests today, while state law enforcement and education officials tried to figure how far the Regents scandal had spread. Traditionally, the Regents have represented a pressure-filled year-end make-or-break proposition for students in this state. Students with bad grades must do well. Those with good grades are expected to do well. The motivations for the theft and the sale of those tests are clear.
It's not fair.
Ed Steinfeld is principal of Cardozo High.
If somebody who studied takes the chemistry Regents and through dint of hard work gets a 75, fellow next to him gets 98 because he went for $150, it's terribly unfair. I think it should be invalidated.
At Cardozo, the tests arrived from Albany 3 weeks ago. They were held in the school's vault until today, yet the answers were apparently available in the halls for a price. At nearby St. Francis, a student told me the answers were circulating a week ago, but the salesman apparently was scared off.
If I don't do good on the test, I'll be in summer school. You know, if I fail summer school, I take the chemistry Regents again, you know, or whatever Regents again after the, the end of the term.
Is it too much pressure for kids to handle? Is that why there's theft? Is that why people need to have the answers?
Sometimes. Well, a lot of people like to make money off it, too.
So there's a couple of motivations.
Right. There's a lot of reasons.